Okay, guys, we've got something a little different going on here today. For those of you who know or don't know, new Map Pack 7, has been announced. It's not on the store as of moment yet. I don't know when it's coming out. Just soon is all I know. Four new maps, and two of them are old maps from Bad Company 1, Harvest Day and Oasis. I've already got those maps up for Bad Company 1. But I'm going to go through it with again this time. But I'm going to go through it with the mindset of what it's going to be like for Bad Company 2. Just kind of get a little one up on people and just so you know what's going on a bit quicker and try and bring my expertise and kind of mash the games together. So going over to Bad Company 1 here. Bad Company 1 plays a lot differently from Bad Company 2. For many obvious reasons. You've got the destruction. The crates blow up a hell of a lot easier, but that's kind of countered by the fact that the buildings don't fall down. So you've got to make up your mind whether you want to shoot the crates or the buildings. And usually these days it's going to be the buildings because they fall down now. So that's going to be a major point, and the classes are a lot different as well. So we're going to be looking at all of that as we go here for some Oasis. So I'm going to be covering this first base as a defender, mainly because back in Bad Company 1 days, there was a set way of defending this base, which was really common and really quite successful. So I'm going to be going over that and explain some of the changes that will probably make this completely redundant now. So the usual way we do it is we get some anti-armor kit and we run over here and start splashing some landmines on the road and throwing some grenades to make some holes to hide the landmines because you can see them. Of course, you only get one grenade in Bad Company 2. I just threw one there just to. You get 6, I think, in Bad Company 1, but usually you only get one on Bad Company 2, so it's going to be harder to lay landmines. And the fact that you have to choose between landmines or RPG. So that's definitely going to be something to think about. In fact, you're probably not even going to bother with landmines. I think darts and RPGs are going to be the way to go. And as you can see there, I think if the armor and everything's going to be the same, then you've got to deal with an Apache to start off with. So that's going to be something to be annoyed with. These buildings give excellent cover against the tanks coming up. You can dodge in and out here, like I'm doing here. On Bad Company 2, when these buildings fall down, it's going to be a lot harder. Because not from the tanks so much, you can still hide in the rubble from the tanks, like I'm doing there. But at the end of the road, there's a hill, and that can be covered in snipers. And if you haven't got these buildings to hold in there, see I'm looking at the hill there with the scope, especially with 12 optical scopes as well. This is going to be sitting ducks with all these buildings leveled. Across the way there as well, I imagine that snipers are going to love that bit, not to mention optical scopes on tanks. I'm running back to the base here because they've snuck on past me, probably on a boat, which is yet even more things to think about because the boats are a bit more stronger because of one of the patches on Bad Company 2. So I get shot because I'm a crap shot, and I've got to deal with these crate buildings here. I see a guy running into spawn then. It's going to be really nice to have people not going to be able to run into the spawn, so that's going to be nice. You have the howitzer to deal with. I have absolutely no clue if the howitzer is going to be carried over to Bad Company 2. I kind of really hope not. Just because all these buildings here... Oh yeah, team killings in this game as well, that's quite funny. All these buildings here, like, as you can see already, I don't think I'm going to manage to disarm this here, but even if I did, this building would have fallen down already, and the one that the other crate's in, because they're just so open. You can hit it with mortar strikes, optical tanks, and trying to keep them at bay with the rocket launchers is going to be hard when your building cover is going to be gone. So moving on to the next base here, and before you get confused, I just flip-flop onto the attackers now. It's going to be easier to show this off as an attacker, just because the dynamic of the base changes, and it's harder to defend this one, to know what you're doing and defend this one. So showing it as an attacker is probably going to be more useful. So I'm rushing in with a Humvee. There's buildings there that might be useful to hold people up, Because actually, I don't know. I mean, mortar strikes will be able to shoot the get the building at the back with the crate. There's a crate on a second-story building at the back of this base, which I think I'll go around and show you now. There's also another crate in another building which can be probably sniped with mortars from across the river with snipers, so that's something else you're going to have to watch for. Of course, back in Bad Company 1 days, a good armor presence back there was actually pretty good to stop people sneaking up around there with 30 mils and hammering the crate. So it's good to see this team knows what they're doing, I guess. So spawning in as a sniper here, it's a good way to scout out the base, mainly because on Bad Company 1 the sniper kits were a really good anti-infantry kit. Couldn't do anything about tanks, even with quick scoping. Just changed the balance and dynamic of the game with quick scoping, but there's still lots of stuff they couldn't do. But don't expect to see snipers running in here with sniper rifles in Bad Company 2, because that's not really going to work. They might have shotguns and stuff, and of course C4 to deal with the crates. So we're going into the crate building here, probably going to be destructible, so you're going to have to watch for mortar strikes from across the river. I see two guys on the roof over here. They're fighting over the anti-aircraft gun here. One guy's sat in the seat there, taken down with a headshot. And what does his friend do? He sits right back in the hot seat, and he goes as well. So, not a clue. People in this game just aren't as savvy as the ones in Bad Company 2. I've noticed little things like shooting through stairs never happen on this game, and other little things, so the standard of play has increased, I've got to admit, to Bad Company 2, so you have to watch for that. Between the mortar strikes hitting this from afar and C4 kits, because it's a very large and open map and plenty of time to sneak in to C4 the crate, this is going to be a real hard base to defend, it really is. I'm going to guess that having snipers, as much as I hate to say it, snipers are probably going to be a very good defense on this, if only to snipe the mortar strikes before they actually come in, and that's going to be a hard job to do. So this base is probably going to be going down pretty soon, although I have thought that there is one saving grace on this base, and if there isn't mechs, if it's still got the Russians versus the US, then that means they're probably going to have a Hind, and if they have a Hind, well, I don't know actually, if they've got the Hind, then that could be their saving grace. However, the US have an Apache on this map as well, on this particular base anyway. So it's going to be a Hind versus an Apache, I think I'm predicting. Might not be, but if it is, that's an interesting dynamic, and if the Hind get the upper hand, unless they put VADs in it or something, then this could be a base to hold. They just need to make sure that the snipers spot everything they can and watch what they're doing and make sure that they keep these mortar strikes off the buildings. So they also get armor on this base as well, so you have to look out for that. As you can see there, quick scoping is pretty good, but it's completely countered by indirect explosives, so that's something you don't really have to worry about in Bad Company 1, because they kind of balanced it a bit better. So a little stock check on this base, Bad Company 1, the defenders got a 120, a helicopter and 30 mil. There's a few stationary guns, there's a grenade launcher and a cornet on that building I'm looking at just then, just as before the scope went down. There's a anti-tank weapon. The attackers, I believe they got 2 Abrams tanks and a 30 mil, plus the Apache. I'm going to guess that the howitzer still isn't in play in Bad Company 2, so it might be, might not be. And there we have a nice example of the knife mechanic in Bad Company 1 compared to Bad Company 2, for those who haven't seen it. They're a lot more deadly, especially considering it takes like a full clip to kill someone on this game if you just spray, and the knives are always instant, so the knives are a lot more deadly back then. See, you've got some armor there. You also get a few fast movers. And there's the 30 mil. So to drive that in. And careful with the team kill, because that is possible on this game. So I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to cover on the space that I can think of without actually playing the game. These buildings over here, as you can see, they're pretty damaged and they're probably going to fall down. So it'd be nice to hold them there on that building so they can't bring the armor up to hit the base. But I just don't think that's going to be viable with the buildings coming down, especially people repairing the tanks behind them. You also got the explosive barrels there, which got a few kills.
Enemy sniper up.
I'm just rolling on along here. This is pretty standard tactic what I'm doing here. This happened a lot in Bad Company 2, Bad Company 1 even. Rolling a tank around the back and then you just pound the crate. You see the red bar just going down. See, I've been here for like a few seconds. I'm already done, I think, nearly half the damage to the crate I managed to do here. So I think you have to look for a lot of people doing this at first. I got J-damned, which is something that's not going to happen in Bad Company 2. But there's other ways to deal with armor. So expect to see tanks trying that, going around the back. Even if it doesn't work too well, if there's better options, there's probably going to be veterans out there like me who used to always do that, and old habits die hard, so that's something to look for. See, like the buildings around here, they're already all dead. I don't know how much of that is due to the howitzer, probably a lot. But if the buildings get that damaged, then this base is dead, so you're going to have to make sure that they don't. Helicopters flying around, trying to spawn on squad. Don't think it really works well. As you can see here, we're going in for this last push here, and we've got a little bit of this little damage on the crate to go. The reinforcements we got on ours works a little differently in Bad Company 1, and of course it was made to balance for this map. Basically your reinforcements go down and you get a chunk of your reinforcements back. You don't get them all back. I don't know whether that's going to be true on Bad Company 2. Of course it wasn't on any of the other maps. You got 75 tickets and then you go down to 1, you move on to the next base and you get all 75 tickets back. Don't know if that's going to work again or not. That's the way it was balanced. So steal the tank here, and obviously it's one shot away. Bit of a tricky shot, takes me a few times, but I get it on the second shot, and that's this base done. That's pretty much all I've got time for, I think. Just finish up mopping up the forces in this base before we move on to the next one. So tell me what you guys think, if this has been helpful or not. Obviously it's pretty difficult trying to guess what they're going to do for Bad Company 2, but definitely give it some thought, and for those of you who have never played Bad Company 1, it's nice to see the map before it's actually out and to give it a little bit of an advantage. So there you go, let's finish this guy off, or somebody else is going to finish him off. How about that? Keep your eye out for part 2.